Welcome to You Matter in Business. Your hosts today are Ariel, me, and Miriam.
Your heart, your brand story, and your success, because you matter in your business.
Before we start this episode, I wanted to give you a quick thanks to Miriam for taking care of the interview with Megan today because I was unavailable. Sometimes we have to do family first, and we all know about work-life balance. So I apologize to Megan. I really wanted to be here for this interview, but here they are, Miriam and Megan.
Welcome back to You Matter in Business podcast. Again, this week, I'm flying solo again. I mean, Ariel is trusting me with our online listeners, so that's fantastic. And again, I've invited my friend Megan Schirnhofer to talk to us. Hi, Megan. How are you?
Hey, lovely. How are you? You're smashing it, by the way. You're doing great. I miss you.
Thank you. So this week, Megan, we're going to talk a little bit. Last week, we talked a bit about your journey and how you're kind of making your way in the world and some advice for your 18-year-old self. And it was great to hear how you're kind of developing in your career. So this week, we're going to talk a little bit more about leveraging the various online platforms and how you do it and the benefits that you've seen in your career. So we can see by your presence online. So anyone can search Megan Schirnhofer, and we'll put links below in the transcript as to where they can find you online, because I'm sure that they're all going to want to follow you after this. So we can see by your presence online that you're a very bright and ambitious and beautiful and capable young lady who's obviously utilizing social media to build not only your professional presence, but also your personal brand. Can you talk to us about the importance of building a personal brand, and maybe start by explaining what a personal brand is to you and why do people need one?
I love this subject because I utilize it massively. So a personal brand for me is how you present yourself and the reputation you hold online. And I really like this example. It was something I was thinking about the other day, because we talk all the time about how people buy from people. It's very much put out there. Places like LinkedIn have made it public that your personal account on LinkedIn is going to be seen 300% more by the algorithm than your business account. We know that this year the trend is on, instead of hiring influencers outside of your space and reaching out to people that have got a high follower count, actually use your employees as your influencers. That's a really big trend we're jumping on now. And I just think that we know that people facing products have more success. And the example I want to share is, like, if you go online and you're shopping on an online store for, say, a pair of shoes, and you see the pair of shoes on a stand that photographed really nicely, but it's just a pair of shoes on the phone. And then you go onto your social account and you see your favorite influencer or celebrity or friend modeling those shoes. I think a lot of these come back to ask yourself how you'd want to be sold to, or what would make you buy. And I think when I visualize that in my head, I would be far more inclined to buy that pair of shoes or that blazer that I'm seeing modeled on someone that I trust or has the same body fit as me, or something where I can visualize how it would look on myself, than I would just buying the pair of shoes that were photographed on their own. So I think that's a very strong example to say why having people and personal brand is so, so important.
Awesome. So many of the women who make up our audience are business women, and their businesses center around themselves as a brand. Can you offer them some advice as to just to decide which online platform they should focus on and how to start to build their presence and following online?
Yeah, so I think I'm going to answer the latter part of that question first. And that is, I think, very much include your wins and fails too, because being human is attractive. People love that. People want to see how you've grown, how you've made your success. A lot of clothing companies I followed have actually started sharing their journey on how they got to where they are today. It's really inspiring. So I think really being honest online and transparent, and like we said last week, like learning from your failure is power. For platforms that I suggest having a little look at the moment, and I think we all know the basics. Facebook tends to be for an older audience or friends and family. Instagram is young and trendy. It's more personal. TikTok, I will genuinely jump on for short form content of something I want to learn quickly. And that is anything from book reviews to how to make sweet potato brownies. I did that the other day. And then LinkedIn, like I said last week, it's really your online portfolio. Anyone in business should have LinkedIn. In my personal opinion, you need to have LinkedIn, because although it may not be something you see in your industry or space, which I find very rare, having an online portfolio or resume is so valuable, and is somewhere that your future boss, recruiters, or investors are going to look at. They will look there first. They look anywhere else.
Just take a moment for a slight interruption. We wanted to share some exciting news.
Exceptional women professionals often struggle to communicate their expertise. Rediscover, refine, rebrand women's retreats provide a transformative, intimate experience that help clarify your unique identity, so you are self-confident and courageous, stand out in your industry, and enjoy effective marketing.
Join us on one of these retreats. Go to arielfaith.com and choose your date that fits your schedule. Reserve your exclusive spot with a simple deposit, and then enjoy tailored planning tips and details from us to get ready for this inspiring experience. In the meantime, if you can like, share, and comment on this podcast, we'd appreciate the love. Thank you.
Okay, that's good. Good information. So do you think there's a difference in the type of content that you generate for LinkedIn as opposed to the other platforms? And just describe the kind of different content that you might find on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, as opposed to that which you might find on LinkedIn.
So I multi-purpose a lot of my content anyway, because one thing to add here is that be consistent. You don't have to post every day, just be consistent on when you're posting. So if you can only manage once a week, just be consistent with once a week, and make sure you're doing it to what feels comfortable for you, because if you don't love it, you will not sustain it. So that's a really big thing to put out there. The types of content is the places like LinkedIn, it is becoming more visual now. So they are pushing photos. They recently put out that they're pushing videos. That's coming forward on LinkedIn. And I do find, though, that a lot of this type of article and newsletters are being more subscribed to on LinkedIn. You will find, if you go onto Google and you're asking a question about something in the business space in particular, LinkedIn articles will pop up. So it's really, really great for SEOs in that sense. Places like Instagram, TikTok are really pushing videos. As we know, it seems to be the way forward. If I promote anything when it comes to podcasting, so podcast is an audio, but I will like to share the videos of what we take from that, because people are far more engaging with visuals than they are just the audio in short form. Whereas video on a podcast form for an hour podcast, people might not sit and watch that. People like to do that on the commute. So you've got to kind of think, where are people going to for what they want to see, and ask yourself that question as well. I think we're all very much on social media now. So where do you go to your content? What kind of content do you like on that platform? And use yourself to be a sort of sense in how you answer that.
Okay, good. So but social media is all well and good. But if you find yourself, you're only talking to your existing friends and family, and your exposure might be fairly limited. So when you're setting out, that's what it tends to be. See, all you're doing is sending it out to the same people. Can you talk to us a little bit about how you and your company go about growing your social media following?
Yeah, so SEOs is number one on my list for this, because in order to find you, they have to be able to track you, and to track you online on a place of social media. When we use words, SEO is massive. That's how you're searching for things. And you are writing things. I know ChatGPT and other things are starting to bring out how you can search for images, but we're just not quite there yet. So at the moment, we're really utilizing as we use and the language we put out there, keeping it very much on brand. Secondly is viral trends. So I do put viral music, viral trends of things that are happening out there, because that's where people are searching. But I would like to add here that do not use the most viral hashtags, because you'll be lost in a crowd. You're like a needle in a haystack. And then lastly is tagging people. So one of the best things we've had about having guests on the podcast is because we tag them, they share, and we've reached their new audience too. So, and even if you're not collabing with people, on my personal posts, I will tag people that have inspired me or people I like. So last week I talked about Grace Beverly. I tagged her a lot. She's very much in the space that I want to be in. So I tag her, and hopefully that helps. That's
a good tip. I like that. That's really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Honestly, you're so good at this.
You wouldn't believe it's my job.
I'm loving it. So I've noticed that you utilize different methods of communication, and you've touched on these as well. So I'm thinking about podcasts, videos, blog posts, thought leadership posts, surveys, all those kind of things. What have you found the most useful? So if someone's going to pick one thing that they're going to concentrate on in the next 7 days or the next month, what's the thing that you've found has been the most useful thing in growing your online community?
I'm biased, but it is podcasting. And I'm going to clarify that rather than just people thinking, oh, well, you're going to say that because you host a podcast. But podcasting provides you so much content. So you have the long form video, you have the long form audio, you have the snippets for Reels and for TikTok and for LinkedIn of the short videos. You have the sound bites. You have the conversation that you can then turn into a blog post, or you can turn into a written article. You then can use those snippets to talk about things that you're currently looking at, news articles, things that are currently present in what other people are talking about. So one of the things I do when I help prepare my questions for my guests is I research their space and what's going on in their space on the current news and headlines, because that's what people Googling, that's what they want to see. And I can then use that content of what I'm talking about or what my guest is talking about and add that online to relate to what is corresponding out there at the moment. So there's just so many different things you can take away from one podcast. And I think that's been the best use of my time and how I'm putting things out there. I am constantly using that type of content. And like I say, even little things that I've said, I turn them into quotes and I stick them on an image and I use it that way too. So there's lots of different ways you can be creative with podcasting.
Fantastic. Do you know what? That's such good information. And I think people are going to learn a lot from that. I certainly have. So that's great. So final question for you, Megan, and I really am grateful for you for coming onto this podcast for the last couple of weeks. But my last question to you. So we've got to know you a little bit over the last 2 weeks, last 2 podcasts. And so what's next for you? What's your hopes, dreams, and your aspirations? What's next for Megan Schirnhofer?
I was reading the book Atomic Habits.
I love Atomic Habits.
And I'm obsessed. And there's one thing I took away from it, and I don't know if everyone's taken this away from the book, but for me, it was end goals can be a little bit limiting. They kind of put you in a box of this is where I'm set out to be. And, you almost don't expand past that reach then. Once you reach that goal, it kind of, it keeps you in this box. It's limiting. So myself, it's not really setting goals anymore, but it is always pushing to get better and to strive, keep climbing that ladder. I'd love to be C-suite one day. I'm very much interested in that space. I love podcasting. I love client relations. That has been the best tool I've had in marketing, sales, and everything I do. And I suppose another real big thing for me and why I love my position currently is freedom in my job. I'm obsessed with being able to walk the dog in the morning without having to, check in with my boss or ask for permission, or I can't today because I'm in the office, or going for a gym session. Like, I've ended up putting in more hours for my boss. It's crazy because he's given me the free reins to go off and adjust my day accordingly. So although I am full-time with this person, I'm technically I'm self-employed, but although I am with this person full-time and I feel like I'm employed, I still have the benefits of being self-employed. And I think that's why a lot of people go self-employed, is because they want freedom of time. There's nothing more time. And this current generation out there is saying that it's not about the salary. It's, it's not about the comfort. It's not about the health benefits. It's about how you allow me to use my time and trust me as a person in your company. And, give me someone that gives me, they make their company mine too. Although it's not mine, it feels like I'm on this journey with them. It doesn't feel like I'm just clocking in and out. I very much invest more of my time because it's seen as valuable. And those little things are far more important to me now than, trying to plan a rigid future and sort of setting these targets I have to meet. Because if I don't reach C-suite, but I'm very much happy with where I am and I've reached everything else I've wanted in life, which is a great salary and experiences and lots of learning and knowledge, then I've made it. It doesn't matter what that title is. I've made it once I've reached that point.
Absolutely amazing. Well, I look forward to watching you grow and develop and thrive and be an influence.
See you next episode. After all, it is your brand, your story, and your success. Because Ariel and I know you matter in your business.
Thank you for listening to the You Matter in Business podcast. Please follow, share, like, and comment. We would love to hear from you. This podcast is sponsored by Ariel Faith Photography and Enrich Life Coaching. The show notes provide more information on how to contact Ariel and Miriam and any guest speakers who share in our journey together.